All right. So do you want to go ahead and get started then?
That sounds good. And if anyone joins late, I'll be sure to let them in.
Okay, great. Well, hello everyone and welcome to the United We Appointments Project Overview. I'm LaShawn Walker. I am the founder and CEO of Suburban Balance, and I am both thrilled and honored to be in partnership with United We to help expose our families to leadership opportunities. As many of you know, Suburban Balance's vision for our families is to be sought out and recognized as community leaders. Therefore, we are intentional about providing educational opportunities and supporting women and people of color who are interested in leadership roles on boards and commissions, as well as other leadership opportunities in the community. Through our partnership with United We, it will help us open doors of opportunity for families. Additionally, if any of our Suburban Balance moms who are participating on the call tonight, if you're interested in participating in the Appointments Project through our partnership grant made possible by the Heartland Community Foundation, 19 scholarships will be provided. And finally, we know that diversity on civic boards and commission increases effectiveness, improves public trust, and impacts decisions made in our education system and beyond. So I want to thank you all for joining us tonight for this overview to learn more about the Appointments Project. So at this time, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to my partner at United We. Beth, take it away.
Hello, and thank you so much. I'm Beth Felsky, and I'm the Appointments Project Director at United We. And I am going to try to share screens here, so bear with me just a moment.
Okay.
All right, can everyone see that?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, great. So yes, thank you for having me, and I'm so excited to work in partnership with LaShawn and Suburban Balance. This is our efforts to increase gender and racial diversity in leadership positions in our community. And we're really excited to launch this partnership and our first event here working together. I'm going to start a little bit talking about United We for those who aren't familiar. United We, our mission is to advance all women's economic and civic leadership. We do this through our research, our civic engagement, and policy work. Appointments Project is our civic engagement piece and was established to increase the number of women serving on boards and commissions and decrease the barriers that prevent them from doing so. So we are a nonpartisan nonprofit and research-based organization. So that's where I'm going to start, is with our research today. So at United We wanted to know, what are the reasons more women aren't engaged in civic leadership roles? And when we talk about civic leadership, we're talking about boards and commissions and councils and committees with either municipalities or counties or states. So we are looking to see, is the government system aware of this disparity? Is there an effort to change this? How do women feel about civic leadership roles? And, what are some of the barriers holding them back? So our research tells us there was a lack of confidence from women. They weren't being asked to serve in these roles, and not really knowing if their time would be used wisely if they did serve. And also, if they served, they really wanted a sense of belonging, knowing that, others wanted them there. And this is based on some research with the University of Kansas. Another component to this is, men's response. And so through our Project Diane research, we found out that women really were looking for mentorship from men, and maybe some support networks, men to ask, hey, what do you need to be at the table? And then, men serving on boards, looking for them to encourage women to join, advocate for women, to be part of those boards, and nominate women. So we know that when we do these things and we increase the number of women on civic boards and commissions, there's positive impact. Increase in public trust in government, boosts efficiency, and improves the lives of residents. It really drives innovation. And a little bit about our appointments project and what the results are is we know with the launch of appointments projects in Kansas City, the number of women appointed to boards and commissions increased from 33 to 43% in 3 years. And so keep in mind, 51.3% of the Kansas City population is female, right? So our boards and commissions need to be representative of our communities. And obviously, women are a big component of that. A little bit about the appointments project. We have over 150 appointments with cities, counties, and states, and we work in both rural and urban areas. And you can see we're really needing to work on women of color and how many we have registered with our program and the percentage of women of color that are getting appointed. So lots of room for improvement. The appointments project itself has a process. We've developed a process where women can register with our organization by providing basic information. We ask them to apply to boards, whether it's city, county, or state, identifying boards that they have interest in, and then stay connected with us through the process. And we can help you through the process, whether it's what's required, whether it's materials, or maybe advocating for you, working with whoever's receiving the applications. Maybe you need to provide some kind of letter of recommendation. And when you get to state appointments, helping with what a Senate confirmation appointment might look like. And then we like to celebrate our appointees, not only because it's a great accomplishment, but to show other women, they too can serve. Today, we're going to spend most of our time just on the applying to boards. I will say when you register with us, you also receive a toolkit, which is an additional resource for you. So what do you need to do to apply? First of all, you meet all the qualifications. You're an active member of your community. And so it's just really a matter of identifying your strengths and knowing where your interests are and how to use those. And, some folks might be more focused on, here's what I do in my career, here's my experiences. But I also recommend, don't forget what you're currently doing in your community. If you're serving on your, local PTA, maybe you're really involved in your faith community. Maybe you've coordinated some fundraisers. Those are all pieces and components that are important when serving on a board. So, I always say, don't forget the value in those. Here's just some boards and commissions, an example for you. I'm not going to read through all of these. Of course, I'll highlight Missouri State Board of Education. And their job is to review certification and recertification requirements of public school teachers and administrators. That's one example of the many things that board does. So, just to give you an idea of the different duties of boards and commissions. And, boards are more supervisory, and commissions are more regulatory. So there's not a lot of difference between the two, but sometimes that question comes up. But this should really highlight the difference between kind of a non-for-profit board versus a civic board. We're talking about community issues, and we're talking about decisions that really impact policy. I wanted to show you just some samples of what it looks like when you go to apply for a board. So most municipalities, especially here locally, you go online, and I can always help you if you're looking for a particular application for a particular city, or looking for, you know, a specific board or commission you're interested in. But this is a listing of Kansas City boards and commissions, and you can literally just Google boards and commissions and of Kansas City and find this. Kansas City actually just revamped their website, so really nice. You can look at what the committee does, or what the board does, or the commission does. Usually there's information about how many people serve, vacancy information. I will tell you, sometimes vacancy information isn't completely up to date, but I'm always always willing to help folks navigate that as well. Here's some more details too that's available on their website. Here's the vacancy portion there, you can see, and their application. And so for the most part, it's pretty basic information that you fill out to apply. Here's the county's website. Once again, you can, I can always provide the link, or you can just Google Jackson County Boards and Commissions, and you can see, you click on that to apply. And then you can also look at all the different opportunities and the purpose of those particular boards and commissions. And sometimes the name of the board or commission isn't easily, you know, doesn't really necessarily describe what it is. So I always encourage people to dive in and see exactly the function of that. This is the state of Missouri's website, what it looks like, and you can search for a particular board or commission, and you can also apply on that site. Here you can also go in to see the definition of a board, and this even tells the makeup of the board, but this is the Missouri State Board of Education, and so kind of provides that additional information there for you. And I'm going through this fairly quickly, so, you know, if you ever have questions about this, you know, you can always reach out to me, or we can go over it in the Q&A. I just really wanted to give you an idea of kind of what it looks like when you actually go in there to apply. Kansas is very similar. I've included that as well. You fill out the application, and then you also can find a listing as well of all the boards, commissions, and advisory groups. One of the things I wanted to go over fairly quickly is a couple of factors to consider when you're applying. One is residency. For most municipalities, you have to live in that city to serve on a city board or commission. So if you live in Lee Summit, you know, you'll want to be applying for board and commissions in Lee Summit, Jackson County, or the state of Missouri. There are a few Kansas City boards and commissions that don't require residency within Kansas City. And those are usually boards and commissions that deal with the larger metro. But for the most part, you do have to have residency within that city. Vacancy requirements sometimes are based on a particular district or ward. So, you know, if you're looking at a city position, they might want someone from Ward 1 or Ward 2 or, you know, county district. You can find that out by going, Jackson County has a really great, just look up your address to figure out what district you live in. You can also usually do that through your election voting office provides that as well to help you know what ward you're in. And once again, we're always a resource if you have questions on that. The appointing authority would, you know, usually in most municipalities is going to be the mayor, the city council, the county level, the county executive. Sometimes it's at the state level, it's usually the governor but may require Senate confirmation. And nominating authority for some, and this is mostly something you'll find kind of either at the county or state level, but an example would be there's the Missouri Charter of Public School Commission, and that is a state commission that allows for 4 or 5 different organizations to nominate 3 candidates. So you would fill out the application for that board or for that commission, but you would also want to reach out to the entities that are the nominating committees. So for that one, it would be the Commissioner of K through 12 Education, it would be the Speaker of the House, or the Missouri School Board Association. You know, those folks all have 3 people that they can nominate. So you'll want to keep that in mind for some particular boards and commissions. So, you know, with boards and commissions, obviously everyone is a part of civic leadership for a personal reason, and they all differ, right? But keeping in mind, we know the research tells us that, you know, identified here's some of the benefits women get out of by serving, you know, leadership growth, personal career development, networking, making the impact, but especially in your community, improving decision-making, increasing bipartisanship, you know, improving public trust, all of those. And those are just some samples of some benefits it has to the community. So I want to introduce Liz Williams, and she is one of our appointees that was appointed to the Jackson County Combat Commission. And here I have what the mission of that organization is, but I really want to turn it over to her to talk about kind of, you know, her personal leadership journey and what made her decide this is something that I want to do, as well as then maybe talk about what her experience has been like serving in terms of, you know, what the time commitment is, how meetings are structured. So I'm going to stop sharing here a moment, I think, if I can find my cursor. But I will go ahead and just turn it over to Liz. So I'll take it away.
Hi, my name is Liz Williams, and I just wanted to take the time today to just give a little information about my journey. My journey to leadership started with me participating in my grandson's school once I had retired. And being a part of his school, I began to connect with different organizations that work with schools. And one of the things that I was asked to be a part of from Hogan, which is the school he was attending, was a parent leadership training, and it's called PTLI. And PTLI took us through 20 weeks of just teaching us how to advocate for children, and also how to be a leader and how to be open to be a part of different things. And so that's kind of how my journey started. It started with me saying, okay, I'm going to do this for PLTI. And one of the things was I enjoyed it so much that I'm actually now a facilitator for PLTI. But what I did with combat, the reason I selected combat is because a lot of people think combat only deals with the crime. However, there's a lot of programs that combat participates with. And it's been a pleasure to sit on the board because I've learned so many things from being a part of that organization. They have different areas that they work with. And I didn't know that. And they have a program called Striving. And what that's about is that they come into the community, they partner with organizations that are working in the community, and they provide funds through grant applications. We just closed that grant application for this year, or for next year, just on the 30th of August. So what we're doing now is just kind of going over those applications and seeing what programs really fit into the mission of combat. Combat's mission is to be a partner with communities to help them eliminate some of the things that may impact why we have crime, or why we have children that are behind in school because nobody's identified that they have dyslexia, or they haven't identified that particular child just needs a little extra time. They could be autistic. And so they have worked with mental health organizations. They work with community organizations. They work with churches. And what they do is fund programs that will help them have an impact in that community. And since driving had happened in the Raytown area, which is the area that I live in, we saw a difference. We have been able to, through COVID, feed people because we were able to get out and write a grant to get money to feed. We've been able to assist children by tutoring to make sure that they didn't get behind from the COVID and being out of school all last year. There's a mentoring program. And this is on the Northeast side, it's on the South side, it's in Raytown. So they're not just targeting one area. They're working across the metropolitan area to see what benefit that they can do. So it's more like we want to be reactive rather than proactive. So I think that my opportunity to be a part of Combat came through United We, and the application process was very easy. And once I got on the board, the thing I love about it is that every person has an opportunity to speak. Every person has an opportunity to share anything that they want to share, as far as, is Combat doing it the right way? Is Combat not spending the money appropriately? And I just have found my time with that organization to be very beneficial. I've learned a lot, probably more than I would have learned if I had not participated, because I also just thought that they deal with crime, and they were only dealing with crime and drugs. And so that's what we're doing now. We're repackaging the logo for Combat and the vision and mission so that people will understand that they're here to assist before we get to the problems where we have to have law enforcement involved. So again, we deal with mental health. We partner with mental health providers. We partner with the police departments, the communities, the churches. And because of that, they've really had a great impact in the area. So that's what I was able to participate in, because I decided to sign up to be a partner, or sign up to be a member of United We.
Thanks, Liz. While I know she has to head off to another meeting, but I wanted to give an opportunity. Does anyone have any questions for Liz about her experience in serving, or kind of what that has looked like for her?
One of the things I will share is that my time commitment for Combat is that I attend a commissioner's meeting, because I'm a commissioner, every second Thursday from 10 to noon. That is the commitment. I also get invitations to participate in anything that the neighborhoods are doing. So it's, the main commitment is that meeting, but the other things that you choose to be involved in could be like, we had a movie night with South Patrol. And if you want to be involved in that, you can, if you have the time. But the real commitment is that 2-hour meeting, the second Tuesday of each month.
Yes, and I know, for some meetings, did you have to prepare in between meetings at all?
There are times, yes, that you do. As we were, I am so sorry about that. As we are looking at the application process, we had to meet before to say that this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to move forward. And so, yes, we did have to meet and do some review of applications. And that's what we're going to be doing now. They're going to be distributed out to everyone, and we'll be able to be a part of it.
Okay, thank you. Well, thank you so much.
I have to go.
Thank you so much for joining us, and I appreciate your time. I think it's so important to have kind of to get that personal story from someone who's actually served. And I can tell you, we have several appointees that are more than willing to talk to anybody. So let me know if that's ever helpful for you to talk to someone who's serving, or might have more information about a particular board or commission if you want to get kind of the inside scoop. So thank you so much, Liz, for sharing your time. Appreciate it. Okay, I'm going to go back here real quick, hopefully real quick, and share my screen again. And so, also, in addition to our appointments project, I did want to I have a couple final comments, and then I'll open it up for general Q&A. But United We, as you know, has some events coming up that I wanted to share with you. One is our United We Power, our We Work for Change event. And for everyone attending, we are going to offer a virtual ticket to attend that event. And we're really excited about the speakers we have this year. So we'll make sure that LaShawna will make sure that you have a virtual event ticket for that. And then the other thing I also wanted to mention is we are in the process of Missouri Town Halls, and we have a couple coming up. We have one across the entire state. So we'll be hosting one in Kansas City, but we'll also be hosting one statewide that the emphasis will be on collecting feedback from women of color. And so that one is October 28th. So I wanted to note that as well. I'll be sure to pass that information on to LaShawn so she can share that with you. But, you know, our work is really dependent on our research and our feedback from others in the community. So this is a really important initiative of ours, and you know, coordinated by our Women's Economic Development Task Force, which is new this year. And so would love to have you participate in that as well if you're available. Information for United We, feel free to reach out to me. Check our website. You can find all of our events. As well as information. You can go to Appointments Project and register with us. Another advantage of registering with Appointments Project is oftentimes if city, county, community leaders might come to me with a specific opportunity, and I can, you know, if I have your contact information, I can present you with that opportunity. So maybe, you know, if you haven't quite identified what you're interested in, oftentimes there's opportunities that I can present to you. So just another advantage of Appointments Project and what we have to offer. With that, I'll open it up to Q&A and stop sharing. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have about boards or commissions or involvement in civic engagement, or maybe specific to United We and what we are aimed at doing.
Beth, this is Nikki. I have a quick question for you.
Yes.
Is there a specific term limit for the majority of the roles that are available?
You know, they do vary. Most of what I've seen for the city is anywhere from 2 to 4 years for a city position. You know, I would say the county has a lot of 3-year terms. The state are usually longer terms, just because, quite honestly, the appointment process is longer. There's usually some politics involved. So once somebody, you know, gets in that seat, you know, they tend to stay in that seat. But, you know, the other thing too is when the term expires, oftentimes the term, you know, you have the opportunity to stay in that position and be reappointed. There's good and bad in that. You know, sometimes that's, you know, one of the challenges with some of the boards and commissions is folks are staying on to get reappointed. And it really depends on, you know, in terms of trying to get new people on, sometimes that can be a challenge. But it really depends on the board and commission, what the statute is set up for that particular board or commission in terms of terms and how long someone can serve.
Mm-hmm. And I will add to that, I was an appointee by the Jackson County Executive Frank White to serve on the Health Forward Foundation. And that they've recently changed their name. But what you want to do is if you are looking to serve on a commission or a board, you want to just make sure that you know that term. So check it out in advance, because that is exactly what I did, because I knew what my other commitments were, and I knew that I could only serve for a year with me running Suburban Balance. And at the time I was working full-time for UMB Bank. So yes, so you're right, Beth, it totally varies. But there are a lot of different commissions. Even when you look at Jackson County alone, I had no idea the Health Forward Foundation was connected to the Jackson County Commission. So
that's a really, really good point. And, you know, too, if you've committed to a term and something happens, of course you can get off, like you're not, you know, you're not trapped. And that does happen, because sometimes we'll see vacancies that pop up, and, you know, maybe it's somebody who's moving out of that district and can no longer serve. You know, maybe they have, you know, some health issues, or someone they, you know, for whatever personal reason. So those do come up on occasion as well. So now some of the municipal and county websites are great about, you know, saying this term will be for the remainder, you know, this position is for the remainder of this term. So it might only be 1 year, and then you would have to file to be reappointed. So, you know, that's not the majority of cases, but, you know, is kind of, is out there as well. And LaShawn, you know, with your service for the county, how often did that group meet?
I believe we met once a month. I believe it was once a month, because I remember thinking, you know, I don't want to take on too much. And when I found out that the meeting time was just really, I believe, once a month, I thought that's doable. So yeah.
That's great. Was there, you know, was there any particular reason that's kind of where you wanted to be, or how did you fall into that one?
Well, again, I was actually appointed. I was actually asked to serve. So I didn't, you know, go after it. I was actually asked to serve. So when Frank White, the county executive, asked me to serve, the first thing I did was to look at what is the commitment. And then at the time, Dr. McCandless, she was the CEO of the Health Forward Foundation. And now the CEO, as many of you might know her, is Kiana Thomason. She's the CEO of the Health Forward Foundation. And so at the time, I reached out to Dr. McCandless and had a meeting with her. And then after that meeting, I told Frank White that I would accept the appointment. So.
And, you know, I know that Jackson County, with Frank White's leadership, they have been extremely committed to, you know, making sure that those board and commission positions are full, because, you know, some counties and municipalities, you know, those vacancies just sit there forever. And so they've been committed to that, as well as working towards diversity and gender parity on their boards and commissions. So I know that has definitely been a priority for them.
Absolutely. And at the time, I think that was about 3 years ago. So at the time, I think the priority for Frank was to diversify, and they were very proactive in filling those roles. So again, he reached out to me and said, you know, we have these roles to fill, and we would love for you to do it. So it's certainly giving back and giving time to the community, and to the Health Forward Foundation is a phenomenal nonprofit, and they do so much for the underserved community. So I felt that would fit me perfectly. So once I found out what the commitment was.
Hey, Beth
great.
and LaShawn, I
Yes.
have a clarification question. So
Sure.
we would register through your organization. You guys will assist through the process of registration. Once we are appointed, do you guys continue like any type of mentorship or support or resources through the term of, whatever organization that we do join their board or commission?
So we do try to provide continued programming, and sometimes that is through partnerships with other organizations. We currently do not have an official mentoring program. However, having said that, I'm always happy to connect women with certain individuals, if they're looking to work towards a specific goal, or, connect them with resources while they're serving. But continued programming is probably what we offer most in terms of once you've been appointed. And then we do encourage, like LaShawn might be looking at a state appointment, and so we always,
I don't know about all of that.
we always, consider that as well. And if folks are interested in different types of appointments or opportunities, can work with them to find them.
Okay, thank you. I was just curious because just based off of you guys' study, or sorry, maybe not your study, someone did the study, and some of the feedback was that women were looking to have that continued support. So I was wondering if that gap had been filled either by your organization or another organization to help provide that.
One thing that we are working with, and this is in partnership with the University of Kansas, and this is, we have a partnership where it's a Ready to Represent series. We'll actually have one kicking off. We'll have an event in the fall, and then it'll be January. There's 4 sessions, January, February, March, and April. And by participating in those sessions, they're like they're probably 3-hour sessions. There is Ready to Run is for folks that are interested in wanting to run for elected office, right? So it's that curriculum combined with opportunities to learn more about Appointments Project or topics related to boards and commissions. And the other component of it is a mentoring program. And so if you were to decide to participate in the Ready to Represent series, you would get a combination of all of that. And that mentoring program, they meet for about 30 minutes prior to each session. So far it's been virtual. We hope to kind of expand that, but that is something we did for last year was our first year, and it was really, really successful. And so that's maybe one example of something we're doing in partnership, with one of our community partners.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. What else? Are there any additional questions? Well, before I turn it back over to LaShawn, I just want to thank you all for giving me the opportunity, to participate with you in the discussion. And, Appointments Project and United We is a resource for you. So feel free to reach out with, any additional questions, about boards and commissions. I will go ahead and in the chat, put my email address. and so you can feel free to contact me if you think of anything else that you have questions about. So thank you very much. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Well, thank you, Beth. That was awesome. I was looking forward to it, just like everyone else. And so I want to thank everyone, all of our Suburban Balanced moms who are on the call, for joining us tonight. As I mentioned in my welcome, Suburban Balance is, as you all know, committed to, providing opportunities and exposure and education to our families. And through this partnership, which is a grant-funded partnership, again, for those ladies who want to take advantage of the Appointments Project, we have money to send you through the program at no charge. So that's a phenomenal opportunity that we're excited about. So I am hoping to see several of our moms who are looking to possibly serve. I know serving for the Health Forward Foundation, as I mentioned, it was just a wonderful opportunity and a way for me to give back. Serving on a commission or board is just that, is service. We're giving of ourselves and giving of our talents and our experiences. And this is an opportunity right now because we know that diversity and inclusion is important. And I think that different municipalities are trying to fulfill that priority. So thank you, ladies. Any questions for me?
LaShawn, I have another quick question, and you may have already said it. How long is the program?
Beth, how long is the Appointments the Appointments Project program? If they sign up, what is from start to finish? I can't remember what you told me.
It really just varies. It's kind of self-paced for Appointments Project. Once you register, you'll receive a toolkit. You can kind of go through that on your own, decide which boards and commissions you want to apply to. And then once you've done that, kind of let us know, and then we can advocate for you to that municipality, county, or state, and for whichever board or commission you're interested in. And so, we'll continue to work with you, of course, through whenever you find that ideal appointment. We have some women that have the process, it takes time, and I always tell people be patient because sometimes appointments might not be a priority. I think we saw definitely a slowdown when municipalities were working on COVID and, during some of the social unrest, there was definitely other priorities than filling, boards and commission vacancies.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes it just happens, depends on what's happening and what's a priority for that administration at the time. Mm-hmm. But I would say, the process really does take anywhere from 3 months to even a year or so before someone really finds the right appointment for them. That's the perfect match, because sometimes women do apply to a couple boards or commissions before they actually a couple different ones before they find their fit. Mm-hmm. So the time really does vary. In terms of the Ready to Represent program, where in partnership with University of Kansas, where we have where we offer that mentoring component, that series runs from January to April. So, but it's only a session each month, and those sessions are about 3 hours.
Hi, LaShawn, this is Dana.
Hi, Dana.
Hi there. Just a quick question to follow up
Yes.
on Shakia's question.
Uh-huh.
Are you interested in, if we are interested in participating,
Uh-huh.
is there a time frame by which you would expect us to have made the commitment?
So,
Because I know that there is funding available, so.
yes. So we do have somewhat of a time frame around our, grant period. However, that's really not set in stone. So are you thinking, because the money is available to us, we have the money, we have the scholarships available for any of our Suburban Balanced moms who want to participate. So what time frame are you thinking, Dana?
Well, I was just curious, because I
Okay.
know that there is money available. I didn't know if
Mhm.
there was a time associated with that money that's earmarked. So,
Mhm.
if I'm interested, but maybe not necessarily now, maybe at the start of the year or second quarter next year,
Mhm.
is that, if I were to delay my decision until then, am I still able to take advantage of the grant? Is really what my question was.
I believe so. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Great. Thank you. Thank you for the
Thank
opportunity.
you. Thank you for being on the call. Great to see you and hear your voice. Great to see everybody. Any other questions? Kelly, you have any questions? Rochelle? No questions. Okay. All right. So you all know that you can reach out to me anytime. If there are some questions that come up after this that you didn't think of today, please feel free to reach out to me, and know that this opportunity is available. So thanks again, everybody. Beth, you have anything else?
No, that's it. Just once again, I appreciate you taking time away from your evening, especially after a holiday weekend. It's a hard timing. We should have thought that out a little more, but just thank you. And I hope you all, success in your leadership journey.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I'll be in touch with you, Beth. Thank you so much. Great job.
Thanks, LaShawn.
Yeah, absolutely. Have a great week, everybody.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, you too.
Bye.
Take care.
Take care.